Oh, you just right in time. Right on time. Welcome in, brother. Hi, my name's Vladis. What are you guys up to? Today is a lovely, beautiful Sunday here in San Antonio, Texas. It feels like first day of spring. It really does. It's like 75 degrees outside. The sun is shining. Like a cool, slight breeze. It's actually really awesome. See, our winter here in Texas, especially in San Antonio, usually is in January. Like I remember one Christmas, it was actually like 73 degrees outside and it was like sunny. But our Januaries get really crazy. Yeah, hope everybody's having a lovely Sunday. Welcome everybody. Oh my God. Just want to say that, give another big thanks to our boy Zyback. He was a really great guest yesterday. I had a lot of fun talking to him about, the state of PvP, what we're expecting on the 11th and what the future of Ashes, especially not only from PvP, but just like the whole PvX, dichotomy and what Ashes could potentially be doing to make things better. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be very important. Cold, rainy, and dark here in Idaho. Well, I wish you the best because, one thing about living in Texas is I found out very quickly going to other states, I hate the cold. I am not a cold person. I would rather be hot. I'd rather be humid than be frickin' freezing. So maybe it's because I'm used to it. I'm not too sure, but whatever. I'm nervous for Ashes of Creation. I really hope it's good. Well, I feel like, hey, Rich, how you doing, brother? I think if you love MMOs, right, and you see a particular MMO that really catches your eye, of course you kind of like always hope it's going to be great, right? But I think ultimately like Ashes is just going to need more time. Is it going to be in a pretty good state on the 11th? Yeah, I think so. For someone who's been here for over a year, I think it is. But my expectations are completely set differently than many of the people watching content or many of the brand new people. And I would say wherever your expectational bar is, just remove the bar completely. Just set it down, way down. Because it's better to like go in expecting nothing and being surprised than expecting everything and being disappointed. You see, you got a good leveling route for the 11th. Bro, with how much they're fixing from 1 to 10, I would just say to quest, do any kind of quests, your commissions past level 10. It's basically just going to be go into a POI, which is a point of interest, or a mini dungeon, so to speak, and just grinding mobs there with a group. That's, like I said, we worked really hard to get the, 1 to 10 experience really, really good. But the, is it paid or free to play? Do we know? Yes, it is. All you have to do is just pay the $44.99 on the 11th. If you want to, it's on sale from the 11th to the 25th. And after that, you don't have to pay again up until the launch of Ashes of Creation, which could technically be like a year, 2 years from now. We don't know. And if you do buy, you will get 1 free month when the Ashes launch, and then it'll just be $15 a month. Which is really good. Man, PTR is much more stable than the last time I played. Awesome. That's really great news to hear. I hopped in after the latest patch today and ran into some newbie quest line. Yeah, I think you'll find that there's been a lot done from the 1 to 10 experience. But I feel like the Riverlands will be super contested and there will be bottlenecks now, isn't there, in their quests? One of the quests that requires a named mom to kill, it's literally, at least on the PTR, it's almost instant. Like, it dies and it comes back like 3 seconds later. My suggestion is to literally form a group. Like if you and your buddies are doing it, if you're in a group and you kill it once, everybody in the group will take the credit. So just a word of advice. Yeah, quest to 10 is best. Yeah, it really is. It's improved greatly. Shallow dude. Hail. Hi. Do we need to download on Steam if we already have Ashes of Creation or Ashes installed? Yes. Steven has confirmed a couple of times now that you will have to play through Steam. So I don't know. I think the Ashes launcher just probably will be retired, or the Ashes launcher might just launch it through Steam. But yes, Steam, you'll need to download it through Steam and play through Steam. Any big changes to crafting in this new phase? Oh boy. Yes. So processing fuel has completely removed. So now you don't have to worry about fuel anymore. And excuse me, I was eating almonds. I love these almonds. So once and the biggest thing when phase 3 launched was the adjustment to quantity of materials required to craft something was insanely high. They actually nerfed a lot of the quantities of materials required to craft something. So that's one of the big things too. And they actually reduced the vendor reagent prices as well by 2/3, which is pretty significant. Where can I buy your magma cap? I used to sell these actually, and I actually probably might do a store again. I just sold these hats in different colors and different things, and a lot of people in my community have bought them. But yeah, currently you can, unless you want to just do it yourself from the store. But yeah, hopefully I'll bring that back soon, probably for next year. Yes, we all have to download the new client still through Steam. Yes, there's no secondary archetype at the start, right? No. So the secondary archetype is supposed to start at level 25. So at level 25, I don't know if there's gonna be a quest line or if you go back to a settlement, talk to a trainer. We kind of don't know how that is. And then you'll be able to select a secondary archetype, which truly makes your class. So they refer to them as your base archetype, which is like tank, cleric, bard, fighter, mage, rogue, summoner. And then your secondary archetype, which makes your class. That's kind of like how they do it here in Ashes. Let me see. Yes, go on to the Ashes Discord and type hash exclamation Steam. Yeah. Yeah, if you go into ashesofcreation.com, I don't know if I have something like that on my chat. Maybe, maybe not. Let me see. Flying Energies, dude, thank you so much for the raid. Hi, hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Vladis. I am an Ashes of Creation content creator, and we're literally just talking about the Steam launch on the 11th and hanging out, basically. You know, I'm gonna react to my boy Burns's the Copium Clinic's newest video about if Force Gaming was right about Ashes of Creation. It's popped the heck off. It's already like at 12,000 views. So I'm super excited to see that video because I always enjoy watching his content. You know what I mean? And he enjoys watching me react to it. So he told me that I have a little surprise for you in the video, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm really good. You are welcome. Let's go AOC hype. Yes. I think honestly too, for a lot of the new people, I would just say right now to you, you are going to be judged for your positivity for being excited for Ashes of Creation. Unfortunately, there's just a lot of people that, you know, don't like Ashes for some reason, whatever, and they just want to let you know that. So I'm just kind of preparing you a little bit. I deal with it all the time through comments or through even Discord messages from people. But just to let you know that and Flying Energies, thank you so much for the follow, brother. Thank you, thank you. I always tell people like it is. I've even told many people, many brand new people actually, to not buy on the 11th. And I still mean that. Like, if it just really depends on the kind of player you are. But if you don't want to experience queues, if you're truly brand new to this and don't have a community, I honestly think waiting just even a week or even a couple of days, you'll go into the game, no queue, and play for like 30 minutes, an hour, and really see if this game's for you. And if it isn't for you, then you can refund it. I just don't want to have someone stuck in a 2-hour or 3-hour or 10-hour queue and realize that the game isn't for them and they can't refund it after that. You know what I mean? What are the main gripes of the haters? Really, from what I've seen, the bulk of it is just negative commentary. The game sucks. The art sucks. The combat sucks. There's no content. You know, stuff like that. Now, again, art style is very subjective. Content-wise, it is extremely light. That I will admit to you. I mean, it's super duper light. Like I said, it's not the typical theme park MMO where you're just led from quest to quest to quest to quest to quest. Now, 1 through 10 actually will kind of feel like that. But past that, it's still, like I said, we're still working on it, right? This game is still, in my opinion, years away. Can I make a Grok AI play my class until level 25 so that it finds me the most efficient way to level? I don't know, Team 100, maybe? I don't know. Grok's getting pretty crazy. Oh, I didn't purchase a bundle, so I guess I don't have to connect my Intrepid account to my Steam account. No, you can still do that if you still plan, like if you still have an Ashes of Creation account right? Because you signed up, but you haven't bought it yet, then you can still connect it. You can still connect it to Discord. You can still connect it through Steam. So that's kind of my thing. They don't like happiness. It's so funny when I've always browsed the MMORPG Reddit. I think you literally have to belong to that Reddit if you hate MMOs. Like, I don't know where the MMORPG Reddit that people like MMOs exists, but man, it's crazy, dude. Like, I'm being facetious. There are some posts that actually are positive, but I think like anything else, right? Like, negativity just sells, you know, across the board. Doesn't matter where you are. It gets clicks. You know what I'm saying? That the game has taken too long to get released, or they hate that there will be a sub. Well, it's so funny. Like, I don't see people hating Grand Theft Auto. Like, how long has Grand Theft Auto taken to release? Like the newest one, 6. Hasn't it been over like 10 years since 5? So like, no one's hating on that. But again, it's because this is, you know, Rockstar is an established company, and there's a big trust there with that community. This is why I always say with people here is that Intrepid is trying to build that trust. They're trying to work on a product to where when you get your hands on it, it actually feels alive and fleshed out and, you know, well polished. And an alpha is just not going to give you that impression. But without your help, without people, you know, purchasing these things to help a startup company like Intrepid, and you'll have people too that hate just that, hate the fact that we're giving money to a startup company. It's like, I guess they would rather you go and give your money to these multi-billion-dollar corporations that literally have 8 different ways to pay to play their game. And I guess that's fine. I don't know. Let me see. Huge difference, can't compare. But what I'm saying is that it's all about trust. The reason why no one's complaining about, you know, GTA taking so long is because there's a trust there. And right now, people aren't trusting Intrepid because they're taking too long. But why do we want a startup company to rush, is my point. And then some people tell me, well, 8 years, Vlad, that's not rushing. They should have had it out by now. To whose barometer? To which project are you comparing it to? Because if you were to put Ashes on paper compared to other MMOs and its systems and features, Ashes, I guarantee, will be a hell of a lot longer than most of these other MMOs. So why are we like literally encouraging them to rush? I remember people literally telling Amazon, like, why isn't New World out? Why isn't New World out? And then what happened? New World came out and people were like, oh, they should have waited. It's always a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. I just truly don't get it with some people's mentalities. The negativity comes from a guy that clashed with Steven back then, you know who, and his gang started to flood internet with hates about AOC. That is an assumption. I'm just saying shrug. Yeah, I think I don't think it's namely one person. You have to understand, there's been multiple crash outs of content creators from Ashes of Creation from all the way back in 2018. I'm just putting that out there. It ain't just one individual. So it's been multiple crash outs for a while. Let me see. Why would you not want Ashes to succeed if you like MMOs? Haven't we been disappointed enough over the years? Well, that's exactly my point, Richard. Like, I completely agree with you. I think it's unfortunate that we have this mindset in our community where, you know, it's like, that's why I think closed MMOs just do so much better. But I also feel like with how we're communicating as a community with feedback, and Intrepid being so agile right now because everything's kind of in flux. Like, everything has the potential, I'm not saying it is, but everything has the potential to pivot. And if you know anything about building, it's harder to pivot where, you know, like if you're building a house, you know, and everything's almost done, you're like, you know what? I don't like this wall being here anymore. Like, what if we just got rid of it or maybe move this wall this way? It's like, well, now we're literally, the integrity, the structure of the whole home is in question. Like, this is a big ask to do right now. Like, you know, and that's the problem when it's so far along. But Ashes is in that like sweet spot where you come into this community and you can leave feedback, leave a post, and, you know, people respond to it. Steven is a Reddit hound. As negative Ashes of Creation's Reddit has been, Steven looks at a lot of feedback posts. You know, the team looks at feedback posts all the time, whether it's through Discord, Reddit, the forums, And isn't that what we've been wanting as a community in general? Like we've always complained, like I've personally complained about Blizzard not listening to any feedback, but now they are after almost 20 years. But I can guarantee you 10 years ago, it was not the case. Like I would say 7, 8, 10 years ago, they were just so blind to the community. It was insane. Let me see. I would recommend people watching recent interviews with Steven. Yeah, I really would too. Like I would try your best to truly educate yourself about this game, because I can tell you this game has some of the most systems I've ever experienced, or not experienced, but the most systems I've ever seen on paper than any other base MMORPG. Like it's truly insane. So let me see. There has been 3 content updates just this week. Yeah, it's been a lot. And then of course, I have a roundtable interview with Steven Sharif, who is the creative director of Intrepid Studios, along with the Nice Gaming, Lude Lloyd, and Zyback TV. And I think we have some really awesome questions for the community. I think if Steven truly answers these, man, I think the community is going to be pretty fucking excited, depending on how he answers them. But hey, at least we asked the question, right? You know what I mean? I guess you meant, come on, are you never played ArcAge? No. Like I said, my MMORPG journey started in 2005 with Vanilla WoW. I played Vanilla WoW from October 2005 all the way to now. So why does my camera just keep doing that? I literally stayed in focus. Let me see, Shield have been kind of meh for the test. You can almost be as good as a tank with the 2-hander. Yeah, and again, this is where I think a lot of the value structure, or just like even some of the weapons or whatever, all of that is in flux. You know, this is where your feedback, how would you want shields to be? How impactful do you want block to be? This is where we need you guys. You know what I mean? This is where Intrepid needs that feedback to properly like tune and see, like, you know, not saying that they're just oblivious to what to do and they're totally relying on the community, but in order to see what they like internally juxtaposed to the feedback they're getting, to see, oh, okay, this is what we were thinking too. Let's go in that direction. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. We're too demanding and emotional about everything. Like we're drunken spoiled brats thinking we're experts on everything should work. I think AI should take over humanity and knock some sense into us. Well, it's so funny, man. Like, you know, I see a lot of armchair dev talks happening in, whether it's in comment sections or, you know, oh, this MMORPG failed because X reason, Y reason, Z reason. But to me, I ultimately think that, you know, there's been some really good MMOs that have sadly just kind of passed away. You know, I didn't play it, but I literally hear nothing bad about WildStar. But WildStar literally lasted for like, what, 5 years, and then it, poof, gone. Why? Everyone loved that MMO. Everyone that was playing it, like, enjoyed the hell out of it. Why did it die? You know, I don't know. I truly don't know why. Like, maybe it was a money thing. I would probably put 100% guess that this was a money issue, because if a company has a wildly successful, very positive by the community MMO on their hands, they're not just going to cut it because, you know, oh, we're making too much money, we got to stop this MMORPG. You know what I mean? Like, money talks, especially to companies, especially companies with shareholders. So I've never seen you ever talk US politics before, which I appreciate. I'm sorry if you've answered this a lot before, but does your hat showcase your political views at all, or is it whimsical? I feel like there's just some things that I don't really talk about because I feel like it's just not conducive to my channel. But I just like the whole, like, the make MMOs great again kind of thing. You know what I mean? But, you know, I live in Texas. You know, there are some things that I believe, you know, that are more right leaning. There's some things that I believe that are a little bit more left leaning. I think any true person to truly believe all one side, I think that's a very rare specimen of a person, because there's just some things that are kind of in the middle. You know, there's some things that are in the gray, you know. Just my personal take on that. Let me see. My fan spun up to keep my graphics card cool, but there's no lag, so I was pretty happy. Yeah, I've been hearing some great performance, man, about this new PTR, which, thank God, man, we needed some new performance. Phantom brother, good to see you, man. Good to see you. The PTR ran so smooth about an hour ago when I was playing. The new early quests felt good. The destinies felt good. Early crafting felt good. These last few days on the PTR have gotten me hopium. Well, look, let me just say this, Insanity, and it's great to see you, by the way. I believe levels 1 through 10 is important. Don't get me wrong. But let's be honest too. Levels 1 through 10 can be achieved through a single play session for most people. The true thing that I'm still worried about is levels 10 through 20. That to me is the worry part, because we really haven't tested a lot of that. And I truly am nervous about people like, oh man, the level 1 through 10 experience was fantastic. I'm on level 12 and this is bullshit. You know, like, and I think that's a realistic take from a new person, because again, like, you had this amazing experience potentially through 1 through 10, and then the game just completely drops you off. And to some people, they'll appreciate that. And I think others will be like, why? And again, I think that's also due to the fact that we really need to hammer out this early leveling experience. And then once we get that in a really good state, let's go on to the next tier. Right. And I truly think levels 10 through 20 is a very important thing as well, along with the novice tide, or levels 1 through 10, because that's where you're truly going to see the grind. That's where you're really going to feel the leveling. And then you're going to feel like, man, I wish I can do more quests. Man, I wish I can do these other things. And I think there's just not a lot of people in the casual side of MMORPGs that are very used to the grind. Like, go to this POI, be there for a couple of hours and grind to get 1 level, and do that every day. You know what I'm saying? And not saying they can't do other things, but you know, it just kind of is what it is. Wildstar catered too much to the top 1% and was kind of ahead of its time, in my opinion. Possibly. Like I said, I never played it. I know people did say that game was pretty hard, but this is also why I think when people try to have Ashes cater to a 1% kind of mentality, this is where I completely don't agree with. I think every MMO should have different slices for different demographics. That's my opinion. I think that's where real MMOs truly shine, and there truly is a variety. And I think currently the variety right now is a bit limited, but most of the time it is in an alpha. I've talked to many people that have played closed alphas before, like friends and family alphas, and that's kind of what they say. So I'm just kind of going by them and just seeing what happens. You know what I mean? But I want to go ahead and watch this video from our Dr. Burns, and we can talk about that. And I'm really excited to see this. Really excited to see this video. So let's get to it. Okay. 1 second. Here we go. All right. And just so you know, it's by a YouTuber. For all the new people out here, Burns, his name's Dr. Burns. He's actually a doctor in real life. This isn't just like a persona for YouTube. He's a legit doctor in real life. I spent a long time in school, but he makes amazing content. I look forward to every single one of his videos. And this particular video is called What If Force, which he means Force Gaming, which is a big, you know, variety MMO YouTuber, is right about Ashes of Creation, because Force did say a couple of things about the game. So let's go ahead and see what he was talking about. Okay.
Force Gaming, or what some of you remember him as, Force StarCraft 2 strategy, is a staple in gaming news and analysis.
Oh
Force
my
has been a
God.
steady voice in the gaming space for a decade and a half.
Dude.
I've got a personal anecdote involving Force, which I'll share at the end of the video. He's not super bombastic. He doesn't wade into politics or drama bait. Just solid, reliable gaming discussion. As an MMO fan, he's lightly been following Ashes for a while. He recently made some comments about Ashes in a short video he published, but first I want to address the timeline he laid out about 1 year ago.
An unreleased MMO that looks to be still at least 4 years from launch. Even just looking at streams occasionally every couple of months, I was like, yeah, it seems like this game is still at least 3 to 4 years away. Looks like they're probably still another 2 to 3 years away.
And he's also, the reason why he's saying that is because he knows the scope. Like, Force is not like an idiot at all. Like, he understands everything on paper, what Ashes of Creation is trying to deliver. And it's super duper massive for people that don't understand. If you don't, then you can always type in on Google Ashes of Creation wiki, and you can go and look at, there's a whole wiki that's literally been done by our boy Lex here in the community since 2017, and has literally kept up with it and added everything, like literally everything related to Ashes of Creation is on that wiki, and you can go and see how big it is. By the way, Vladis, just so you know, that there's talks to have anywhere between 3 to 5 NA servers on the 11th. Oh my God, bro, that is like amazing news. Tolath, dude, thank you so much for the follow, brother. Thank you. I really truly hope you're enjoying the stream so far. Thank you, man. That makes me So happy. So happy. All right, let's continue.
In fact, I'm going to just push it out further and say they're probably 3, 4, or 5 years away from like a full 1.0 actual release of the game.
That's what I was
After he
saying.
put this video out, I made a video talking about my proposed timeline. I said he might be right, but I thought it would be closer to 2 years additional development after the launch of Alpha 2. Well, a year has passed, and I might be right, but I hope I'm not. And this
You were only right, Burns, because they are potentially reducing their scope, which we'll find out on Thursday. But that's why I can guarantee you, if they were keeping the full scope, you would have been wrong, and I would have been right, and so would have Force.
tweet has me a little concerned. The game has made tons of progress over the past year. We now have every archetype, navals online, functioning caravans, settlements kind of work, and we almost have every race. There's still a lot of big things to do though. Every secondary archetype, castles, dynamic server gridding, freeholds, pets, story arcs, religion, auction houses, etc. These are all pretty complex systems. Yeah, we don't really have any other completed zones other than the Riverlands, but I don't think that's a huge deal. I'll explain why later in the video. So based on Force's timeline of 3 to 5 years from a year ago, I think he's going to be right. Or based on the amount of things which still need to be developed, I hope he's right.
This is totally the way it's supposed to be. This is just a person using their flight mechanics on their horse. It's legit, okay? This is not a bug. This is totally intended. I'm being facetious, okay? I'm totally being sarcastic.
I'd rather wait for these things to be properly implemented than get half-baked, rushed-out content. I think money will be a factor here. This leads us to the short Force put out recently. To make sure I'm not taking his comments out of context, and to not be lazy, I watched his recent streams and did my own clippings. Let's start here.
Do you have a theory on why Trepid suddenly made the move to Steam? Oh, it's definitely money, dude. They need a cash infusion. It costs a lot of money. They probably need more money. Steven is rich, but he's not billionaire rich as far as I'm aware, and it costs a shit ton of money, and I'm guessing that they're running low on funds, or they're getting dangerously close to the point where they don't want to push it to the point that they're actually out of money. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is money. I'm not sure this is a need scenario though. Like if they don't get a ton of Steam sales, Intrepid probably won't shut their doors. Messaging from Intrepid has always been that this game is all
My boy Corey. No, I think it is sort of a money issue, right? Because it's not saying that they're going to totally get, they're not, this is what's going on. So currently, you know, Steven is putting collateral up of some of his own money, some of his own stocks, some of his own things, right? I would assume, right? This is all assumption, okay? Don't get me wrong, but this is assuming, right? Because Steven is a multimillionaire. Like, he is a very wealthy person. But of course, he's not totally using like all of his own money, right? I mean, most rich people don't do that. They use the banks. So if the bank's like, hey, we've already given you this loan, you know, yes, like I know you have this much interest in your game, but like we can't keep giving you money. You know what I mean? Banks don't like that. But if Steven, our boy Steven Sharif, were to prove to them, hey, this interest is a lot bigger than what you guys think. And so if they go to Steam and say like, hey, look at our interests now, look at how all the stuff is going to happen, that is also collateral to give for the banks to give Steven more money. So that way we can continue on. Like, so it's not directly linked to us giving money to Steam. It's the fact of influence and people getting and purchasing. That's what it really is about, at least in my opinion, assuming, let me just say that again. They're not always broke, but more money is always good. And again, yes, I completely agree with you. Any startup company needs money. No startup is going to be like, oh no, we're good. You know what I mean? Like, every startup company needs money. Now, the people who should be saying we're good are these multi-billion-dollar companies that are still charging you to not only their subscription, not only their box costs, not only their cosmetics, not only other extra tertiary currencies. Those are the people that should be telling you, oh, it's okay, we've gotten your money for years, you don't have to give us money no more.
Already funded.
They're still a company.
Completion. If that's the case, then why bother monetizing? I'm pretty sure it's like what Zyback recently said.
He's getting loans, and I think that if he can show that his product has a user base and there is revenue and that there's a desire for this in the market, he can get more favorable terms for his loans. He can get additional investors. If your product has people that like it, it's very easy to go to the bank and be like, look, I've got a thing. There's fucking 20,000 people playing it 10 hours a day. Like, clearly there's demand. Can I get a loan at a more favorable interest rate? Like, that kind of stuff.
Also, Steven.
And again, that whole opinion that I was saying, my boy Zabex in chat, that was him. I messaged him and I was like, bro, when I heard that, I was like, it makes so much sense, because the money that us players are going to give by, or the new potential players that are going to get for $44.99 is literally a drop in the bucket. At best case scenario, we might make 1.7 million. This is like, you have to understand how much money it takes Intrepid just to sustain by paying their employees per year, which is anywhere between probably 30 to 50 million. $1 million is really nothing. Oh, that's our light bill for a couple of months. You know what I mean? Like our electricity or whatever, right? Like people truly don't know how much it is to make an MMORPG, especially in California. Let me see. I really want them to succeed. I really don't mind to support them, even if it was broken, many systems missing. It's a really big project. Definitely looking forward to on the 11th. Yeah, man. And I think honestly, a lot of people are looking forward to this project, right? But it's always such a shame that when you see projects that have such potential, literally like shut down due to lack of funds. You know what I mean? And it's happened to lots of indie games, like not necessarily just MMORPGs, but like CRPGs, regular RPGs, just like, small little crowd funds that don't hit their Kickstarter goal, like, and they had such a great pitch, such a like cool idea. It's always about money, man. Money makes the world go around.
Confirmed that this whole Steam thing is to get money. He said so last live stream, but pay attention to the reason he gives.
We want to bring to market not just the opportunity for people to become involved, but also from a revenue generating perspective to expand potential development opportunities with outsourcing. And Steam is a great way to do that.
Intrepid is going to
see, that's a really good point, which I'm pretty sure Burnt's probably going to say, because for outsourcing, and this is what I said yesterday when I was talking to Zyback, or probably was the stream before that most gaming companies, like whenever they're churning and burning and trying to crank out a product, they just go on this hiring spree, right? They start hiring and hiring and hiring to get more people in their systems, more people to like build and produce content or whatever. And then once the game is developed, and again, New World did this because my buddy got laid off in 2001 when New World launched, get laid off. And what Steven's trying to do is he's trying to keep his team of the 250 developers that he has, or the 250 employees that he has, so he doesn't have to do that. And if he's going to be outsourcing to third-party studios to make content just like New World did for their Brimstone Sand update, and they reached out to other companies because, again, it's such a morale dumper when you start hiring these people. They get really integrated into, the ecosystem, and there's really fucking cool people that's like, oh, Scott, I freaking love him. He's one of the new guys. And you work with Scott now for like a year and a half, and you're cool, Scott, we love Scott. And now Scott's fired. And it's unfortunate, right? Like, and I think Steven's mentality when it comes to this, it's like he truly doesn't think as a CEO, because most CEOs don't even give a shit about their lower class of employees. And Steven, and even the things that I've heard privately from people is that Steven truly cares about his team. I mean, there was, I don't really know if I can tell this story, but there was a particular instance where Steven stayed at the studio till 3 a.m. with a couple of the devs, because the devs were kind of disappointed at the fact that this thing broke. And Steven was like, I'm going to stay with you guys. Steven doesn't know what the hell to do. He's staying with them surely to be a morale booster for them. Like that's, I've only had one boss in my life that ever gave a shit about me like that. One. I've had many fucking bosses. And I think it's just a really cool thing to have a boss like that, in my opinion. Let me see. It reminds me of what happened to Marvel Rivals devs when it launched a successful game, but we got to lay you off. Yeah, it happens all the time, man. It's so unfortunate.
Be hiring contracting studios soon. That's a good thing. I asked Steven about this during my recent 1v1 with Vladis while Steven was in chat. The contracting studios, bringing them in to help make stuff. And Steven, correct me if I'm wrong. My assumption is that the systems and a lot of core design features will be made in-house, and just like the asset production and like large swaths of content, my assumption would be biomes and stuff will be made by these contractors.
But it's like
Steven said, we build the pipelines and we bring in contractors to work within those pipelines. So it stands to reason Intrepid will use contracting studios to pump out points of interest, dungeons, and biomes. While
dude, it's so cool the fact that like Steven pops in from time to time, because me and Burns, like, go back and check out that 1v1 with Burns. That was such a fun conversation to have. We had a great ton of fun. You'll get to hear my wild pitch of a cinematic. Oh, it was so good, dude. It was so good though. I don't know why people were like telling me like it was dumb. Bro, it was so good. I loved it. And if you think it was dumb, I'm gonna time you out for 30 seconds.
Core systems are developed in-house. This is a common practice in game development. For example, AGS hired Blind Squirrel Games for the Brimstone Sands expansion.
There you go.
This is a much more ethical way to develop the game too. It's sad when companies have to lay off all their workers once the game is complete. Money is the reason every MMO in development fails. Here's Forrest from his recent annual MMOs in development video.
This list just got a heck of a lot shorter. Over the past few months, 4 in development MMOs that I've been looking forward to have been canceled. 4.
Like Greg Street said, Project Ghost failed because of money. Amazon recently announced they're ending support for New World. This came right after what seemed to be a lackluster commercial response to a decent expansion for the game. Unfortunately, MMOs don't grow on trees. A lot of people don't like that Intrepid is monetizing their testing. Intrepid isn't a AAA studio.
The Vladis Skinematic.
Do indie things. To the people who rail against Intrepid selling alpha access, how would you prefer they monetize?
Cryptic, what's up, brother?
Steven, the schedule.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I guess that is next on the schedule. So we have a big announcement. Steven, would you like to tell them?
Yes, we are pleased to announce Intrepid Studios' brand new partnership with, drumroll please, Fig Newton.
Woo!
The wonderful folks over at Nabisco have agreed to become an official sponsor for Ashes of Creation. So on the inside of every 64 pack of Fig Newtons, there will be a code to input on the Fig Newton website, and once you link your Intrepid account, you'll be granted some embers.
Ooh, that sounds like a fun quest.
It does, doesn't it? The most flavorful quest with only 22 grams of carbs per serving. Also, the cooking artisan profession has been renamed Fig Newtonry. Every consumable will require one of their 12 all-natural ingredients made with real fruit.
So yeah, I'm with Force that this is about the money, but I'm not as pessimistic on my long-term outlook for Intrepid's finances. I'm also okay with Intrepid monetizing their testing. Game integrity remains intact, and if it helps them develop quicker, so be it.
Ooh,
okay,
that's
next
some
he
loot
talks
right
about
there.
the state of the game in terms of releasing on Steam.
The game is clearly not finished, and I think it's going to suffer as a result. It's the reception that it gets when it comes to Steam. I'm going to give a Ashes of Creation an honest shot. I think my my biggest concern, this is third party, like I'm not super invested in the game, but my biggest concern is if what people are saying is true and it's truly not ready in its current state, that the Steam launch is just going to tank any hope. The Steam launch will be people's first and last impression. And
See, I don't understand this perception from people, even from Force. Like, he covered the whole New World debacle. He covered the coverage up until the launch. If you go back and watch Force Gaming's coverage from July of 2021 to the launch, he wasn't truly talking positive about the New World experience. A lot of content creators weren't. So it's like, yes, did New World like go up in the sky and then immediately fall down? Absolutely. But we're truly not talking about a launch. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing. I think some people are amping this early access thing on Steam way too high. But again, I can't, nor can anyone, people's, their naivete a little bit, right? They think, oh, early access, Ashes must mean, oh, it's coming out soon. And I don't know. It's just a little weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't truly get it. But most people truly look at Ashes, or not Ashes, just early access launches as like, well, we probably have like a year left, right? And I think that actually might be realistic in this sense. But, it just depends. Like, what are we going to do, right? So we'll see.
if it's a -1, it'll be their first impression, and if it's a -1, it'll be their last impression, and they're just going to write the game off, and then it's just going to slowly...
Completely disagree. There were so many people that wrote the game off for New World and still played New World. And there were some people that didn't think that they would like New World that ended up playing it during its shitstorm and thought, hey, like once these things are fixed, this game's actually gonna be pretty decent. Like, you know what I mean? Like, again, I think there are some like reasonable people too. Chrono Odyssey is another example too. Yeah, I mean, I think if you like something, like, I think MMO launches in general are just exciting to be a part of, right? We have very few of them for games. Like once Ashes truly launches, like will there be some people that will be turned off by the negative reception to Ashes of Creation? Absolutely. They will be turned off. Will it completely write off someone? No. They might write it off temporarily. And what I mean by that is they'll write it off in that interim. They'll forget about Ashes of Creation. Once they hear Ashes of Creation is coming out and it's actually in a really good state, they're going to remember that negative sentiment. And I can guarantee you, a Force, let's say writes, or not writes, but let's say he has a pretty negative experience from his playtest with Ashes. They're going to remember watching that video and then juxtapose that to when Force makes the new video on the 1.0 launch and is very pleasantly surprised. All of a sudden, that person is now converted to like want to believe Force's optimism. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not, that person is not going to be like, but Force, you said a year before that the game sucked and the game was at this point, blah, 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 blah. They're not going to care because now Force is saying something different because things have changed. Things have gotten better. There's more content. There's a more broader appeal now because it's been fleshed out. Like, that's the thing that I truly don't understand sometimes of how people can't, yes, will it be negative temporarily? I think so. I think it'll last probably for a month, and then the current Ashes community that's been here for a while will be here. We might get some new, converters, from like the new or the early access people that might stick around afterwards. But I said this too. You also can't expect these people to play month on month on month on month in a test. Like, I always tell people, if you're brand new, play for a while, play up until like you feel like you did what you wanted to do, and then take a break. Whether that's a break for a month, a break for a week, a break for 6 months, I don't care. But just come back whenever you feel refreshed. Come back when there's probably more content to engage in. And I would just suggest to keep watching the monthly live streams, keep hopefully watching my videos or other people's or Burns' videos, Zybak's videos, Nice's videos. I don't care, just to keep you informed up until there's a set amount of content that could be for you. Or maybe the thing that you were turned off by, now there's a thing that's being added that negates that thing. And now you may be like, well, man, if that thing is added or this thing is fixed, I might actually enjoy myself now. Just very reasonable, level-headed takes here,
Drift into obscurity. It all
Drift
depends
into
on
obscurity.
how good of a product it is when it comes. If it can hook people and get people into it, then the opposite might happen. And positive word of mouth, it'll grow, get better, Like, I think Ashes, from what I understand, the current state of Ashes is it's got good systems and combat in place right now. I mean,
Yes.
like, I watch PvP videos and think it looks genuinely awesome, but it essentially lacks content, and everyone has to AoE grind to max level for 50 hours.
I think his overall impression of the state of the game is dead on. There's a great foundation, but not much to do still. I've played the game for hundreds of hours at this point. The combat is snappy and responsive. It's a good experience. But
Combat
other
is
than
great.
mob grinding, there's not a ton to do. When you hit current max level of 25, all you can do is gather. The long-term vision will be dungeons, sieges,
Always has
artisan
been.
professions, and arenas, but we're not there yet. Based on their patch notes for the Steam.
Let me see. Does Ashes combat feel like Guild Wars 2? I have not played Guild Wars 2. But I would say I've played World of Warcraft for 20 something years. And as a World of Warcraft player, I think this combat feels almost as good as WoW for me. And for me, like, I am probably more of a shill for WoW because it's just kind of like my home MMO. But I truly love the freaking combat in Ashes. Like, it feels visceral. Like, I'm talking as a melee player, I play fighter. Like, fighter feels great. I've played ranger as well. And pushing buttons on the ranger and doing things is pretty equally too. Like, if you're comparing hunter and WoW. So yeah, I think it's pretty damn good. Let me see. Does it feel like Guild Wars 2 but with weight instead of floaty? Dude, the fighter feels weighty. Like, the impacts, the things that you do with the fighter, the sounds, the crunch, it's definitely weighty. It used to feel light. Like, it used to feel very floaty back in Alpha 1, but they changed that a lot. WoW's combat is great. What the fuck? Hey, it's one of the best tab target games on the market, Wags, and you should freaking know that. You're playing it right now, you bastard. I like it more than WoW. It's got a few more movement advantage with momentum, ledge grabbing, etc. Yeah, I agree with Zabak. Like, I that's what I'm saying. Like, this combat to me feels, it's a little different, but man, once you get used to like the fact that you can dodge, roll, block, sprint. Like, it has more tools than your typical MMORPG, but the combat feels amazing. Like, I can tell you that if you play mage and you triple tri-beam someone for the first time, you're going to be hooked. Like, just saying.
update, they're going to make leveling to 10 easier. Crafting and gathering.
I was
won't be
responding
as
to
punishing.
comments.
Apparently,
Okay,
there's
I'm
better
sorry.
questing implemented now up to level 10, so we'll see come December 11th. In terms of Steam reviews, I anticipate them not to be great. A lot of people are already planning
What's up,
to buy
Rapta?
the
Good to
game,
see you, brother.
leave a bad review, and then refund it. Do bad Steam reviews mean the game is doomed, though? Is there any precedence for a game coming to Steam Early Access, getting bad or mixed reviews, and then going on to commercial success? There is, and I'll give you a couple examples. Ark, not Ark Raiders, you know, the dinosaur one, came out to mixed reviews for their Steam Early Access. They had messy legal battles and constant PR faux pas. That didn't stop it from a strong launch and eventually becoming one of the highest selling games of all time. Some sources say it sold 79 million copies. When the game is good, not much else really matters. Another example.
And that's what I mean, right? Like, you can go back and look at, like, you know, there's some early access stuff or some things that are prior to World of Warcraft or other big MMOs, and you'll look at it and be like, wow, this looks like such trash. Well, anything looks like trash where you're in an alpha testing phase. Like, once you get to the launch, like, that's where shit really meets the, like, where rubber meets the road. And if Intrepid could truly deliver on a really good launch experience, it doesn't fucking matter, because the proof is in the pudding. And anyone that's truly giving an honest review, now they can still say if this game isn't for me, right? Because there's many MMOs, because Guild Wars 2, great MMO, but that MMO is not for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it has great things, but those things don't jive with me. Does it make them bad? No, it just means that those particular systems just aren't my kind of gameplay. And I think there's just some people, because it isn't for me, then it's bad. That's stupid. Like, I don't really believe that. Like, I don't like sushi. Does it mean sushi is bad for everybody? No. Like, I'm just not a fan of sushi. Like, people just don't use their brains, man. Like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, what is 2025?
Example is Conan Exiles. They entered a Steam Early Access and got mixed reviews too. An older article says, a big advantage of going the Early Access route is if a developer is willing to take on customer feedback, either negative or positive, and work to fix the issues as they continue to build the foundations of their game through regular updates and patches, fans will mostly
Resort, dude, thank you so much for the follow, brother.
You
Thank
only
you.
have to take a look at the dedicated Conan pages on Reddit to see how quickly fan reaction is turning around from initial early and negative impressions. Conan Exiles has sold millions of copies since then. So if we take a step back here, I'm not convinced it'll matter much in the long run that Ashes gets dragged in the Steam reviews. Steam splits reviews up between overall and recent, so there's a chance the reviews are more positive the closer we get to launch. I'm of the opinion they should wait until there are actual endgame loops to do before they release to Steam, but that's just me. Force finishes his thoughts with this disclaimer.
Mad Grunt Dude 11B, thank you so much for the follow, brother. Thank you. I hope everybody's having a great time watching so far. This is a great video, man. I love it.
That is the third-party perspective, not entirely tuned in to everything Ash's thoughts.
I appreciate Force's candor. He's not trying to convince you of anything other than the reality. It's easy.
Well, I think Force is also, he's not invested in. He's talking very neutral. Like, and I think it's kind of interesting how he kind of goes pessimistic with it a little bit, with like, oh, if this happens and this is so bad, everyone's just going to write this game off. Like, again, like someone in my chat was talking about No Man's Sky, see where it is today. Exactly. But even look at New World. New World in the longest time was like operating with like thousands of players, right? It went from like almost 1 million to like 50,000, and then it hovered from 50,000 to 2,000. And it was just getting players back. There's a lot of actual Ashes content creators playing New World and having a good time. Like the newest expansion that came out, people were having a great time with it. And it's unfortunate that they finally figured their footing, or they finally started to do the things that players really enjoy, for them to just shut down. And again, with MMORPGs, like I think of Final Fantasy 14 too, with 1.0. Like 1.0, it was a complete disaster for Final Fantasy 14. There were still people that stuck around to try, A World Reborn, and it took a while, but look at that. They kept working, they kept doing. And eventually, it's like 1.0 was like a long distant memory. You know what I'm saying? And I think mostly, again, like we live in a culture that really likes to romanticize the negativity a bit too much, in my opinion. But, you know, we'll see what happens.
to make negative videos. They garner a ton of views and you're never called a shill. Being objective misses out on the rage bait and sensationalism. The Western MMOs, which actually make it through development, are usually rushed out and fail. So statistically, you have a high chance of being proven right if you're dooming on Ashes. It's going to take a while longer still, but I think the promise of a great MMO is worth it. As I said in my first ever video,
some people say this game won't release for another 10 years or that when it does, it'll be terrible. I don't care about that. Whether it's Ashes or not, it's okay for us MMO fans to hope for a good game.
I could crash out and say Ashes is doomed, but plenty of other creators are doing that. Part of the reason my channel is so design focused is because that's the end goal. Negative Steam reviews definitely won't help, but I don't think they're going to derail this project from rolling on. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the doc's getting high on his own supply. What do you think? Thanks for watching. Feel free to click off the video here. I'm just going to share the personal story that I said I would at the beginning of the video. So one semester in undergrad, I was taking an especially heavy class load. I was studying for the MCAT, and this chemistry lab that I was taking was like a
Redbeard, what's up,
chemistry
brother?
lab. They said at the beginning, they were like, we want you to spend as much time on this chemistry lab as you do in lecture. But the lecture was 4 credits, and the lab was only 1 credit, so I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. So a couple weeks into the semester, I see my chemistry TA, and he's got his computer up, and there's this laptop sitting on the desk, and he's playing StarCraft. And I kind of lean over his shoulder. I'm like, hey, how's your game going? And he looks at me. He's like, you play StarCraft? I was like, yeah, but I'm not great. And he's like, we should play. I was like, yeah, okay, sounds good. So in preparation to play with him, I watched a bunch of Forces StarCraft 2 strategy guides. I mean, this was fairly close after release, and they were good. Like it was super helpful. So he and I play, and we play ranked duos, and we got platinum just after a few games. And then we eventually we became fast friends, and it was funny as the semester went on. Like we ended up getting Diamond League. Like we were really good together, but we became friends. And later he told me, he's like, dude, you were the only. He was from China. He was a Chinese foreign exchange student, and or a Chinese grad student, I guess. And he later told me, he's like, bro, you were the only friend I had in America for a long time. So
Jesus, really?
But it was so funny because during the lab, I'd be like pouring one reagent, my Erlenmeyer flask into a beaker, and I'd be about to do that, and I would see from across the room, I'd see him do this and like tell me not to do the stuff like that, and he like coached me a little bit, helped me out with stuff. So without Force and StarCraft 2, there's no way I would have gotten the grade that I got in chemistry. And then also, I made a friend, a really long-term friend. He invited me to his wedding and stuff, but it was a destination wedding, and I was a poor pre-med student, so I couldn't go. But yeah, that's my story. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video.
Dude. Yeah, dude. Our boy Burns is, like I said, he's one of my favorite content creators in the space, and I always enjoy watching his takes on stuff. I mean, he really truly takes stuff very level-headed, and I think the way he conducts his YouTube channel as far as like gathering feedback from the community and expressing his opinions and concerns with the project and improving Ashes and explaining things to people is just in a way that is just really refreshing in the space. The only thing that would raise a flag for me is that they have an active cash shop in the alpha. Has that been confirmed or denied yet? They are going to have a cosmetics cash shop. Yeah, they are. So if you're not a fan of cosmetics, then you probably can't play any MMORPG on the market, because I don't know of one MMORPG that doesn't have a cosmetic cash shop at this point. But yes, there is going to be a cash shop, but there isn't going to be any, and Steven has said this, whether it's on Dustin's interview, he said this multiple times in the wiki, is that his cash shop will not have any pay to win nor pay to convenience ever. So, and we're going to hold him to the fire on that, because we as a community don't want that either. So if you're one of those people that are worried that eventually there will be a paid convenience thing that like everybody just needs to buy, or there's going to be a thing that you'll eventually have to do to get more powerful in PvP or endgame or add to your gear. That's just not going to happen. So, and Fupo, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Pay to win cosmetic shop, and the skins are not exclusive. But yeah. Salty Mariner 1, dude, thank you so much for the follow, man. Good to see you. Thank you. Welcome to the channel. I hope you've had a good time so far. It was a very banger video. Absolutely loved it. I'm really excited actually to I'm sorry for the whole chapstick. I've been taking this medication for my health that has been drying me out. Like I have no oil on my skin at all, and my eyes get a little dry and my lips get severely chapped. So if I don't put this on, I'm gonna look like some person that's been out in the desert for days or something. It's crazy. Who cares if it's during an alpha, as long as cosmetics carry over for after launch? Yeah, and they will. Like all the cosmetics that you're buying from 2017 to now will all carry over, of course, to the launch, right? Is free after paying $42 for it. So oh, Fupos. I was like, wait, what? They aren't exclusive or anything. So no FOMO at all. Who cares? So delusional. Like, I think some people just, again, like when it comes to an ideal MMO for people, like most people don't want a cash shop. But the reality is that every MMO has a cash shop. Like, again, like give me an example of an MMO currently right now that doesn't have a cash shop, period. Like you can't buy anything. Like all you do is just buy the game once, or you pay a monthly subscription, and there's literally no cash shop on their website, in their game. Like it just doesn't happen. So I don't know why like people get upset about it. Like it's a thing that I think we've put up with for a while now, like in the MMO community. So it's just a little crazy. What MMO had a cash shop in an alpha state? So you're fine with a cash shop at a launch state, but being in an alpha, that's where you draw the line. Like, okay, like you do you, brother. Like, I mean, I think at the end of the day, if you think a company could sustain from just a $44 one-time purchase and think that that's okay to sustain a multi-million-dollar company that is a startup, I guess that's your rationale, right? Like, I'm not going to debate with you, but I just think it's a really interesting take. Let me see. What I'm saying is that anyone who gets triggered about it, I don't care about. I do agree they should get all the pre-order pack skins in before they open a cash out for the rest of us. It's fully funded. So yes, it's fully funded from Steven, but when you go and read that quote, like that was a quote that was back in 2018 or 2017. At that time, he was saying that it was going to be fully funded based off of his time frame of releasing in 2020. And now what he's been doing is the whole thing we just watched right now is the fact that like now he's getting bank loans and everything like that to show, but any startup company needs money. So again, if you draw the line at an alpha needing a cash up right now, then I guess like see you later. Like I don't know what to tell you, brother. Like, I mean, it's just the reality of it. Let me see. As long as it's not pay to win, who cares? Don't buy, obviously. Yeah. Again, is the game going to be free? No. So you pay once currently, and then by paying once for Steam Early Access, you'll get one free month when the game launches, because the game will only be $15 a month. There's not a box cost. There's not going to be like I said, any kind of pay to win, any pay to convenience to their cash shop. So you just got to pay $15 a month. That's it. Let me see. Personally, I would rather have no cash shop, $40 box cost plus $30 monthly sub, but having no pay to win for convenience cash shop and $50 a month. I'll take that. And I think, yeah, like again, like I think ultimately a player would want a free MMO to play with no pay to win, no pay to convenience, no cosmetic cash shop. And I think that model just can't exist unless there's just some multi-billion-dollar company, gaming company, that's just going to do that out of the goodness of their heart. But when the hell is that going to happen? You know what I mean? But yeah, I would love that MMO too. Free, amazing, bunch of content, great combat, no cosmetic cash shop, no pay to win. Like, I just think I think most people have very unrealistic expectations of corporate MMOs. Like, that's just never going to happen. Like, it's not. Let me see, to be honest, there should be a box cost, and if you bought in during the alpha, you won't have to rebuy it and you get some exclusives. Yeah, I think give me everything in life for free. I earned it by doing nothing. Oh, Redbeard, man. Lucy, WoW sub cost like $15 a month back in 2005, and it had fucking millions of subs. Yeah, I mean, and again, WoW got super duper successful because I think it launched in such a sweet spot time frame, comparatively to the harder MMOs that were very abrasive and rough. And this came out as a very casual, like back in 2004, this was a casual solo friendly MMORPG compared to a lot of the MMOs back there that really weren't. So, hold on, Gia. Sorry, my daughter wanted to talk to me. She was banging on the door. Let me see. Like I said, I personally think that people just want this like grand vision MMO for free. And there's always going to be these takes of like, oh, you know, Steven said this game's fully funded, then why does it need more money? It's like, well, yeah, like if you want to rely off of one person so you can get your fill, great. But, you know, when I've been in this community in 2020 and I saw that video of him saying, oh, it's gonna be fully funded, like I always kind of like was skeptical about that because it's like, that's just not realistic for this kind of scope of MMO. And especially once we went 3 years after that, we're like in 2023, I was like, I don't think this game's fully funded anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like in my own mind, like I'm not a smart dude. I'm not a smart individual, but I'm like, I knew there had to been something going on to have some kind of funding. And again, when Zybag was talking about the bank loan stuff, I was like, yeah, that makes sense because you want to use it as collateral. And then now you're using the bank's money, which is the fully funded part. But in order to be fully funded, you need the support of a community. And whether you want to be a part of that because maybe you think, you know, oh, well, a cosmetic cash shop in an alpha is where I draw the line, then cool. Like, come back later. You know what I mean? Come back when it's ready for launch, and I guarantee you'll probably have a way better experience than you would on the 11th. But, you know, I think there are people that, you know, want this company to fail, and there's many of us that don't, right? And the people that don't, like, I personally advocate for a box cost. I truly do. Like, I think, you know, I think eventually, like, I believe once Ashes gets on its feet, right? And Ashes or Intrepid could be an established gaming company and they last 5 years, stuff's going great, the community's solid, we have good numbers, you know, then they can be like, hey, we're going to remove the box cost, right? Like, but I think now, like, I don't know if there's any legal reasons of maybe why they can't do that because it's been said. I truly don't know. But I mean, I personally wouldn't mind. Like, I'm the kind of person, I've always been that kind of person where if I support something, like, I'm just going to support them. Like, there was, so I come from a very small town. There was a kind of market that we had. It was called Betos. And they had really good meats there. It was a small meatery, you know what I mean? Of course, now you have places like HEB or Walmart where you can go buy stuff or whatever. My parents and me always bought there because this was like a family owned thing that was really, really good. It was a little bit more expensive, but I mean, hey, like, you know, this is, if we don't go there, and so it's just, then it's going to shut down. And now I have to go to these bigger entities, right? Like, so I think people just have different, you know, different takes like on that. So it just becomes like an is what it is situation. MC game is fine. Cash monthly is also fine, but PvP needs to be fixed. No, absolutely. PvP is definitely going to be altered. Numbers are going to be altered. You have to understand, we've been in flux with TTK now for probably since, you know, phase 1. In phase 1, TTK was absolutely terrible. It was god awful. It was so fast. You would just die with, you know, within 2 hits, you know, in some regards. And, you know, it's just now going to be constantly in flux because there's going to be more systems that are going to add vertical power to the mix. And those systems aren't out yet. So right now we're literally balancing for its current systems, but then once those other systems are now added, it's going to be in flux again. Now people are going to be like, oh, TTK is broken. What happened? Yada, yada, yada. Well, now the Ascension system came out. Now the jewel socketing and the jewelry system came out for gear. Now the tempering system, you know, like all this stuff, like all these things like is going to fuddle with numbers. So if you're a person who really cares about the numbers side of things, like I would just caution you to be more relaxed when stuff gets broken in that way, because it's an alpha, things are going to be broken. And let's be honest too, even in live launches, it's still in flux. Like, it's not saying that once we get to launch, it's perfect. It's never going to change. It's amazing. It'll be amazing forever. That's unrealistic too, right? Like, those numbers are always going to be constantly like being tweaked and fiddled with. Let me see. This guy shows AOC content for years and still has 3K subs. See how, this game is a fail. Well, I mean, I believe that MMO niches and YouTube is insanely hard to capture, to be here. No, Hank Hill, he's actually an icon here in the Ashes space, man. Like, the fact that he's actually watching me right now is pretty honoring, man. Thank you, dude. Yeah, it's the actual Hank Hill, dude. It's the dude, you know? And, you know, I don't really consider myself like the greatest Ashes content creator that we have. I think the one that I appreciate the most is Burns, which we watch his content. He has about 6.5K views just making Ashes content. So he started later than me and got way more subs than me because his content just speaks for itself. And, you know, I don't get offended by that. Like, I do this literally as like a hobby, you know, and I wish it could actually transform into a little bit more once my girls are a little bit more grown. But I do this because I'm just passionate about this project. You can think, oh, this guy has only 3K subs. Clearly the game's going to fail. Yeah, I mean, okay, like, cool. You know, there's going to be many people that have been helping out. As fans wants to talk to Steven. The fact that you even have these huge content creators actually wanting to try Ashes is a lot, because most people will just keep dooming the whole concurrency of players. You're going to have this is what the future will hold. Let me just explain to you. So you're going to go on to like Blue Squadron. You're going to go on to potentially like all these doomer YouTubers, and they're going to show you like Ashes concurrency in January and February and give you this list of like, oh guys, you see, they only have 4,000 people playing this game. This game is dead. This game is trash. There's no need to play this game. Look at it. Look at it right now. This game's terrible, you know? And I've showed this before in the past, right? Like, so I'm going to do it right now because I know we have people in chat that might appreciate this. That's right. I can't spell. Jesus Christ, Mario. There we go. Okay. So let me show you this. So this right here is Baldur's Gate 3. Oh man. Imagine if I was a content creator, like a Doomer RPG content creator, and I was showing you these numbers. Oh, dude, look at this. 4,000 people playing Baldur's Gate 3. 2,000 people, 2,000 people, 2,000 people. This game's dead, guys. Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be an utter disaster. Like when it launches, look at these numbers, man. This is just bad. Like, look, I would be the biggest fool. You know what I mean? Like this is so dumb. You know what I mean? Like early access stuff and trying to do concurrency towards that doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. Like negative reviews, you know, low player concurrency in a test doesn't matter. Let me see. Mortal Online is a better example. Mortal Online is an MMO, but again, Mortal Online had it never had the appeal and the widespread of Ashes of Creation. If you were to tell me, like, if I can go to MMO people, just regular casual MMO people, I can probably say Ashes of Creation and they'll know what I'm talking about. I'll say Mortal Online 2, and they'll be like, is that like a mobile game? Like, what is that? So in my opinion, it's kind of not the same because of the broader appeal that Ashes of Creation has comparatively to a Mortal Online 2. So that to me is the bigger difference there. Let me see. Most people aren't cut out for testing. No, they're not. And again, this is just an example because I know people want to compare MMOs to MMOs, but the whole point is that testing a game is not for everybody. And if you're trying to compare testing numbers, and I tried to actually bring up New World, but they actually deleted all of the beta stuff from New World, so I couldn't make that as a comparison, but it was low too. Yeah, said Mortal Online is even more niche than Ashes was. Yeah, completely agree. But my whole take is that you can always spin stuff negatively and, you know, it may work you out in the present, but you could look like a complete fool later. You know what I mean? And with Ashes, it's a wait and see game. Like, do I want it to succeed? Absolutely. But I can guarantee you, you know, Lazy Peon, you know, S-Fan, Asmongold, all these huge MMORPG personalities weren't talking about Mortal Online. And that's for a reason, you know, and they were all watching and being interviewed by Steven. So to me, it's the same, but it's not. Like, are they both MMOs to compare? Yes, but are they in the same league of well-known and all this other stuff? No, not even close. Let me see. If you want to hate watch, you really need something better to do with your life. Oh, well, I was talking to Hank. Guys, if you want to fight with Hank's gonna, you know, be here and be negative. He's that person. Like, he's known for that shit. Let me see. New World beta charts. Where did you find that? Is that on Steam charts? Because I literally go to New World and it's literally not here. See, if I go here and I go all the way down, it only goes to 2021 where it launched, and that's it. I wanted to go before that, before October 2021. That's what I mean. July 2021 is beta, but it should still have the numbers here. But I remember from back then that it was New World beta test or beta realm is what it was labeled. And it's not there. Like, if I go to New World, sorry, you can't see what the hell I'm doing. It's just New World Eternum, and there isn't another thing to click on anymore. Oh, perfect world. So yeah, like I couldn't really show the numbers. New World public test realms. Well, can you link it to me in Discord? Like, if you can go to my Discord and just like ping me a message privately. Here. You don't have to join my Discord if you don't want to, but I'm also on the Ashes Discord as well. If you just want to type my name, I'm very active on there too. But yeah, like, New World wasn't great concurrency either in the beta, is what I'm saying. And to compare that to what it launched with is just, you know, it's not the same. Let me go here. Okay. You see, my body and my mind are ready for AOC early access. Yeah. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I mean, again, I'm not here to try to change anybody's opinion. Your opinion, even if you are proven wrong, most people then cope a reason to end up being right. You know what I mean? Like, even with Hank, if Ashes becomes super successful, either we're never going to hear from Hank again, or Hank is still going to talk about how crap the game is. Most people do that even with World of Warcraft. Like, World of Warcraft is one of the biggest MMORPGs and people talk shit about it all the time. It kind of doesn't matter There's people who love it. There's people that don't, but it just becomes an is what it is situation. Just show the DM over, or just shot the DM over. Okay. Thank you so much. SteamDB. Oh, okay, that's a website I've never been to before. So how do I compare this? Okay, go to 3 months. Or max, maybe? See, it only goes up to... Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. It only goes up to... Or here we go. Does it go? So, yeah, look at this. July. This is probably when it launched with when beta first opened. And then it went down here the next month. What? Why is there a gap there? August, where's September and October? Interesting. Super interesting how those 2 months are just basically deleted. But yeah, I mean, again, 200,000 goes all the way down to 50,000. And then of course it launched in October, but those 2 months are missing and then it goes down. I don't know if this is correct. I've never been to this website before, but it's interesting. Either way. I mean, it just is what it is. Like, you know, people want to, you know, play the game and do the thing. And I feel like we are going to be way better from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 in early access. But there will always be people that'll just talk crap. You know what I mean? Like we're very used to it here in this space because there's just a lot of people that, you know, want Ashes to fail in that regard. D Sky, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube, man. Thank you. Hope you've been enjoying the stream so far. But ultimately, like I just want a good game, man. I think most people just want a good game to play. And I think it's one of those things that people often find themselves in this perpetual cycle of going back to their comfort MMO and then being sad that they're playing it and wanting something new. And then when something new that catches their attention happens, now they're, you know, back to like being upset because it's like, oh, why is this game not out yet? Oh, and then you start investigating the project and it's like, oh, this game's been active or in project or in thing for like 7 years. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? So it just becomes like an is what it is situation. Let me see. What do you think about the PvP with the Alliance guild system? Alliance guild system. Are you talking about like in Ashes, like Guild Wars, or like what are you talking about? Or are you even talking about Ashes? I don't know. Can you be a little bit more specific? I'm excited to be able to record my Bard shenanigans again. Have truly missed the game during my 3-month break. My first PTR experience last night was fun. Yeah, man, they've done a lot, Blight. They've really done a lot. Like I actually want to get on the PTR now. I just downloaded it before I went live. So I'll probably play a little bit tonight. Let me see. Hank, I am curious. What MMO do you play? I'm so curious as to like what MMO you are currently maining and playing and enjoying. I'm super curious. Let me see. It's so true. I want a real MMO again that feels like it matters. What do you want and what you achieve? Oh, matters what you do and what you achieve. Yeah, no, absolutely, Risen. Like I think, you know, there was a lot of specialness back in like the early 2000s with MMOs, because a lot of those MMOs, you know, we didn't have cash shops then. You know, a lot of the stuff you did have to earn, even though RMT was pretty frantic back then. Believe me, it did. There was a lot of people grinding for their reputation and respect and high-end gear, and the feeling you'd get from doing that was awesome. Some things literally can't be relived. You know what I'm saying? And if you experienced MMOs in that time frame of like 2000 to like 2007, that was a very, very special time to play. yes, in Ashes there should be an alliance system where you where up to 5 guilds can group up for PvP. So like same in TNL, I guess there will be bad for balance. No, Ashes will have an alliance system. If you go to will it be at launch? I don't know, but if you go to the wiki, there's a lot of, like Zabek saying, there's a lot of wish lists on the wiki of what Ashes wants to have eventually. So we'll see. Let me see. WoW came out before social media, YouTube, all of it. Chat rooms were still novel. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like WoW came out in this like perfect time frame of like internet, and it was just, you just had to be there. You know what I mean? If you didn't experience it, you just missed the boat. Kind of removed the experience of the majority of players discovering everything together. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's wild. It's something that I really have a huge hope for in the future. And like, I don't know, like there's people that, give me inspiration. Hank, you're one of them, dude. You're one of them, because I think the people that have been negative on this project, and honestly to see like how it's coming together, like how all of the bones, like the combat, everything's just been coming together and doing, like, it's really cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause I've never been a part of like an early access experience like this. Like I've never been a part of like, an alpha before. The most I've ever gotten was, being a part of a beta and an expansion for WoW. So that was always my extent. Hank always keeps me laughing. We must protect Hank. Yeah, honestly, like it's even some of the negative people that come in. There's people that have sent me negative Discord messages of like, Vlad, you're like, I can't believe you still do content. You haven't improved. You're so terrible. Like, how do people even take your takes seriously? And again, it's like, and I always say, thank you, brother. Thank you for the kind words. It's just like, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not here to be in some bullshit high school thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to express, your love for something, do it. If you want to express your distaste for something, go and do it. It's the internet, right? That's what the internet's for. But for me, I look at every kind of negative experience or negative person and see like, wow, I still can't believe that's how people kind of dictate their life, right? Because Hank has actually been with us for years. Actually, he's been in our comment section, and he really loves to crap on Ashes. And Hank is a perfect example of, a person that, wants to explain his truth of Ashes being the most terrible MMO out there and wants to save people, because he has the mentality where he believes that if I comment enough and I keep preaching my gospel, that someone's going to look at his comment and be like, wow, Hank said that Ashes is bad. I have to believe him. Like, I believe now, Hank, I hate Ashes too. Like, it's just, I don't know, like maybe some people are like that. David, dude, thank you so much for the sub, man. Thank you. But I mean, you go look at, if you go to anybody's Ashes streams, whether it's Nice, whether it's my boy Rive, anybody, I'm pretty sure Hank has probably been in their comment section 1 or 2 times, unless they banned him. But I personally don't ban anybody unless they start talking about, my chat in a very ugly way. Like, if you want to talk crap to me, that's fine. But when you start talking shit about my community and the people that have supported me, that's where you kind of draw the line. Also my family, just the usual shit, you know what I mean? But if you want to just shit on the game, like, fine, go ahead. Like, you're going to be outnumbered in a sense, but some people like that, right? Let me see. AOC is a true MMORPG and it's shaping up really nice. It has quite a curve and tons of content that takes groups to beat. It can only get better as it develops. Yeah, I think honestly, like, again, it's just a really nice experience to see the project unfold, because I've never really seen it like that. I've never seen it from that perspective, because from my perspective, being here since Alpha 2 at the start, and there's people who've been here since Alpha 1, it's quite crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's honestly like a little refreshing, you know what I mean, to see a company that truly listens. And I have developers reach out to me and be like, hey Vlad, did you test out this new thing? Or, what's your what's your take on this? Or I've even had developers be like, hey, because I usually go to Reddit and I'll write like a Reddit post about like my feedback, whatever. And, you know, they'd be like, hey, are you going to write a Reddit post on like our new changes to the economy or whatever? And I'm like, I'm actually doing it right now. I'll send it to you when I'm done. That's just so cool. You know what I mean? Like, I really love that. Now, because I'm a content creator, I kind of have that thing. But what's also insane too is the people in Discord and, you know, Steven engaging with people in Discord. That's also cool too. And so I think it's just really refreshing to have a community like this. And yes, are there going to be negative people? Are there going to be people who don't like the game? Of course, that's in any freaking game. You see, yeah, the crab in the bucket thing is mad weird. There's plenty to criticize about the game. However, most of the criticism is just dumb shit, like scam game or a game bad. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, like the whole I don't like this game, you shouldn't like it too kind of thing. I mean, there's games that I don't like either. Like I don't like PAX Day. And I don't go in the PAX Day Discord, or I don't follow PAX Day content creators to tell people, hey, PAX Day is bad. Don't play PAX Day. It's just like, bro, I have better things to do, man. Like I can't do that crap. Like, you know, because honestly, like what I found out, and Hank might be, you know, in his 20s maybe. Because I know when I was in my 20s, I could hate for a long period of time. But I think as you get older, hate requires a lot of energy to do. And if you live your life that way, it just becomes very much like I had an epiphany in my 20s where I was like, I can't carry on like this, man. Like I gotta settle down. You know what I mean? Like I gotta settle down. Yeah, guys, like I said, like here, let me see. Okay. Oh no. No. I think I timed out Restream bot. Damn it. No. How can I unban it? Pockets, can you help me? Jesus Christ, I'm an idiot. Okay. Here, let me do this real quick. Pockets, if you can, try to untime out restream bot. Is it an unban or an untimeout? I don't know how to. I'm fixed you. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So let me go here. Sorry, we're back. Sorry, restream bot. Didn't mean to do that. Let me go here. There we go. I timed out Hank for 30 minutes because that's probably how long I'm going to be on stream anyway. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like Hank, he's a very interesting individual, man. He's one of the few people that has been in our community for years that has hated this game. And honestly, like, I really don't ban people, but it's like, if you're not adding anything constructive to the conversation, like I would rather prefer a person hating on Ashes and giving legit like reasons. I hate Ashes of Creation because it has no content, and the reason why what I'm referring to no content is I hit level 12 and I have to grind for whatever, right? Like, why haven't they fixed that? Like adding legitimate criticisms for their hate. But it's like when I just see the hate to hate, it's like, okay, you're just kind of engagement farming. And I allowed it for a bit, right? Because I thought he was going to dip out. Let me see, bad decision to launch same time when the start of 11 season of Diablo 4 and new season PO2. A lot of people will play them, then try Ashes. Good. Good. Because then it'll be a trickle in effect later and not cause so much congestion right on the 11th. You know what I mean? So yeah. And again, those are full blown seasons. You know what I mean? Like Diablo 4 is the completed game. You know what I mean? And PoE 2, well, technically is still in early access, but if they're releasing the Druid, like, yeah, go play that for a couple of weeks and then come back and try Ashes. Like, I don't personally think it's a bad idea. I think for the people that really want to play Ashes day one, will play it. And the people that have those other games they want to play first, then have them go play them. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. It's never bad to have too much content on your hands, guys. Come on. Like, are we literally talking about, oh my God, you know, so much content is a negative? Like, we always complain that there isn't content, you know what I mean? So the only thing Ashes has to worry about is something like a WoW expansion. The MMORPG landscape is pretty dead nowadays, so don't launch next to WoW. Yeah, I would pretty much avoid like Final Fantasy 14 or WoW. Like, just avoid those things. Like, especially, I'm talking, I don't even really care for the alphas, like, or big or betas or whatever. I'm more talking about the launch of Ashes. When Ashes launches with a 1.0 on it, it can't compete with those other things. Like, you really need to be in a really good time period of when it's in the middle of a season in WoW, or there really isn't that much happening in Final Fantasy. And there's been some spots like that. There's been some droughts. So, you know, we'll see. We all know Ashes is far from perfect, but it's still fun. Oh yeah, man. Like, I mean, I think for an alpha, I've gotten so much fucking enjoyment from this, man. So much enjoyment, you know, but I've also got a lot of frustration too. You know what I mean? This is the whole tug and pull of being an alpha tester, you know, is the fact that there is going to be some really cool experiences, but also some janky performance, unfinished systems, systems that, you know, work in a certain way that just doesn't work with you. Nick, dude, thank you so much for the sub on YouTube, brother. Thank you. Hope everybody's having a great day. You see, people are still playing Diablo 4. Good on them. Dude, I love following Frosty Lou, just to watch his Diablo 4 content. That is some of the best Diablo 4 content I have seen on YouTube, man. Frosty Lou is great, man, when it comes to Diablo 4. You see, WoW is dead, not an MMORPG. It's a session game since Legion. No, bro, it's been a session game for a long time. Like, even before Legion too. I mean, WoW is basically a lobby game. It literally is. Like, it's a lobby game. Like, there's like a base hangout session, which is the open world, but then you're constantly just jumping into either Mythic Plus dungeons or raids or delves, or, you know, it's basically a lobby game at this point. Let me see, best alpha I've been a part of, frustrations aside. Yeah, man, like, again, and also to see the community being very engaging with feedback and everything like that. Like, that was also something else that I was really shocked with. Do you think Ashes players are also WoW or Final Fantasy 14 players and would compete with each other? Oh yeah, I mean, I'm technically a WoW player and a Final Fantasy, or not a Final Fantasy. I'm a WoW player and an Ashes player, but I want to play Ashes more than WoW. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm playing WoW because I just don't have anything else that I would rather play. But I play a shit ton of the PTR, but the PTR can get you so far. I mean, currently we're being wiped almost every other day. So, you know, I mean, there's many MMO players that don't main just one MMO. You know, sometimes, you know, there's content lulls in a lot of MMOs. You know what I mean? I know a person who plays Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy, and WoW, like, pretty competitively. So, I mean, you know, and it works because it's like, if you're never really in need of content, there's very few times that person is ever not lacking content. Let me see, if WoW finally start with Classic Plus and not Seasons of Plus, I'd probably play it if done right. Well, if you ever looked at Project Ascension is a private server for World of Warcraft, and they basically have Classic Plus over there, and it's fucking great. So if you're a Classic Plus player, that'll definitely get you in some content for a while. Most people don't like private servers because, you know, they're private servers, right? They want to play on the Blizzard servers. Like, I honestly don't know why they just don't buy them. Blizzard has enough fucking money to go to the Ascension team and be like, what would it cost for us just to buy you guys out? Or what would it cost to just bring you onto Blizzard? You know what I mean? Like we will hire you, or we will like buy your entire product and you just stop. You cease and desist. We'll give you millions of dollars. Stop. Bro, I can guarantee you, if Conquest of Azeroth or the new Classic Plus that Ascension team brought out went to the actual Blizzard servers, bro, it would be insane. utter fucking insanity. Didn't they actually hire some of those people from Season of Discovery? Maybe. I really don't know. I'd rather go Turtle WoW than Ascension. Yeah, I mean, all I'm saying is like, WoW at this point, like, would just need to be this like like Baskin Robbins, basically. What flavor of WoW do you want? Do you want to play this kind of WoW, this kind of WoW, this kind of WoW? Like, I mean, but I think also too, like, they can't bite more than they can chew. And I think having already the different versions of WoW that they're trying to cater to, I think is potentially pulling them a little bit thin. Let me see. I'd rather go Turtle WoW than Ascension. Oh, I just said that. Yeah. I mean, it just depends, right? Like I played Ascension a lot more so than Turtle WoW. I think Turtle WoW was very much a, it wasn't for me. I'll just say that it wasn't for me. Not saying that it was bad. It just wasn't for me. Man, I wish AOC would release today, brother. It would be disaster if it released today, but I get your sentiment, right? Like you're kind of thinking if it was all complete, like, yeah, of course. Wow, you're still going, Vladis. I would quit already. I admire your energy, but still being live. Yeah, man, honestly, I am probably going to dip out because my wife's been cooking food and I got to help with the bedtime routine, but I did want to go live because I really wanted to watch Burns' video and just kind of hang out with you guys for a little bit. And yeah, I think we had a pretty good Sunday, man. And like I said, if you haven't tested the PTR today, like myself, go do that. There's actually been a lot added to the anvils area, and I'm probably going to go check that out. I want to see what new things they added. And I know they added a bunch of new POIs and new fixes and stuff like that there. So I'm really curious to see how it is. But thank you guys so much, man. I really appreciate you guys just hanging out. Let me see who's currently streaming right now, which I'm pretty sure Dusty. Yeah, Dusty's streaming. And who else? Just trying to see if there's like any other content creators. Let's see, we got Jonah, we got Dusty, we got Two Santos. Yeah, let's go to Two Santos. I've rated him before. He watches my content. He's a good dude. Oh, what the hell happened? There we go. All right, guys. Like I said, thank you all so much. If you guys really want to watch more of my content, I'm going to try to stream every single day. So if you want to hit that heart on Twitch, please do. It'll keep you updated because I technically don't have a set time. It's very random that I'll go live on a certain day or any day, just because I'm a dad, I have kids, I have a family. And if you're watching on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe. You know, I really appreciate my YouTube viewers. I am still trying to get better in reading both YouTube and Twitch chat. So I hope I did better today for you guys. But thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Have a good one, guys.